Welcome to the Popper's Perspective edition of the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. Giants and Jets, they play once every 4 years, and obviously one of the most memorable games was Christmas Eve of 2011. Let's talk about it with Brandon Jacobs as the Giants went on to win Super Bowl 46. And Brandon, there was so much hype going into the game that year. Rex Ryan was flapping his mouth. Mm-hmm. You guys needed the game badly. They needed the game badly. What was it like the week leading up to that game?
Well, coming into the week, it started with we run New York, because I think at that point they had the better record than us or something like that at the time, and they had the most successes. I think the year before that, I think they went to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. So he was on his soapbox and sliding over North Jersey like he ran the world. It was just, so we just sitting and looking, and Coach Coughlin with his bulletin board material, you don't really want us to give him anything back, but he want him to be the fool to give us everything we need. So, just it being the Jets, we didn't really need any bulletin board material, just leading up to the week and us watching them on film, they're just another one of those soft AFC East teams that we saw. It was just one of them soft teams, just like all the rest of the teams they had in that division. So we wasn't really worried about anything with the Jets. So they were coming for it because they needed to make the playoffs, and we needed it as well, but we were the better team.
So I know a lot of your teammates got upset because it was a Jet home game, and the way MetLife Stadium is configured is coming off the loading dock is where the Giants locker room is, and the Jets locker room is on the other side or the other part of that side of the stadium. And when MetLife Stadium was built, they painted the logos of the Super Bowl championship teams. When you guys came to work that day, the Jets decided, because they were running the game as the home team, that they were going to cover up all of your logos. I know David Deal got really pissed off about it. Did you notice it, and did it piss you off?
Oh, it pissed me off tremendously. It had us all pissed off, and that was, but we never even noticed it until we, walk out to go take the field. We're like, why they got a tarp over our thing? So we took it down, and then we went back in the locker room, came back in the locker room, it was back up again. They put it back up again. So as we coming out to the field, we took it down and put it on our thing, so they couldn't put it back up. So that pissed us all off like that. Like, this is your home game, but this is our side of the stadium. When the Jets have a home game, the visitors use the visitors' locker room that's right on the other side of our locker room. So they had no business even doing anything over there. No one even sees anything. It's our section of the stadium. So you shouldn't be that disrespectful and cover. And then we just unloaded on them.
So now the game's going. It's a tight game. You guys aren't able to do much offensively. The Jets had a pretty good defense. In 2011, you guys were not great during the season of running the football because of injuries and everything else. But then Victor has the 99-yard catch and run that kind of takes the lid off things. Give me your viewpoint of that play.
So when Victor catches like a hitch or something. He catches a hitch, make one person miss, and down he go on the sideline. And that's when we heard the amount of Giants fans that were actually, it sounded like a home game. So I was like, oh man, we good, like we ready, man. They won't be able to stop us, they won't be able to stop our guys in space. We just got to get the run game going, and everything will be fine. So when that happened, Victor, when that whole thing happened, we just went crazy. We defense started coming off the ball, started playing physical. The offensive line started blocking. Now granted, we averaged maybe 4 yards carry that game, but which is great. But when Victor took that to the house, man, that was something to tell us, man, y'all got to get going.
And then Ahmad with the punctuation mark, he runs over Poole, you get the clinching touchdown. Did it almost feel like at that moment the Giants were back?
Yeah, because that's the time that we displayed what we had been displaying throughout the last few years, physical brand of football. We're gonna punch you in your mouth, and there's nothing tricky about what we're doing. We're not trying to keep from you what we're doing. We will punch you in the mouth, and we're going to come. If you hit us back, we're going to hit you back. We're going to keep coming. We're going to keep getting up. And that's what we, transferred, like that's what we turned into as a unit going through, from that Jet game all the way through the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it almost felt like you guys remembered what the Giants were all about. Yeah. And then you ran the ball effectively. As that game was going on, even though it was a Jet home game, you can kind of feel the Giant fans and, with you guys being on the visiting sideline, but you could sort of feel that energy and almost the stadium turning on the Jets as that game unfolded, couldn't you?
Yep. Oh, yeah, because like you said before, the game was pretty tight. And then things just started happening for us, started getting turnovers. And all of a sudden, we had the juice. And we just kept going. We just kept building onto it. And that's what happens when you get momentum. When you're a good football team, led by a good football coach, when you see the smallest things in football, the smallest things in football is not about football, right? It's momentum, right? So if you can take that momentum and build off of the momentum, you got a pretty good chance because games is about momentum swings, throughout 4 quarters. But if you can keep the momentum throughout the game and make, minimum mistakes, you're going to win every football game.
Wasn't that the game, too? Coach Coughlin got taken out on the sideline? Didn't he get...
I think he did.
He got clipped on the sideline.
Clipped on the sideline. I think it was a punt. I think it might have been a punt and a gunner or something like that was being blocked onto the sideline, and I think they pushed him into him.
Yeah, and he was pretty banged up, but he wasn't going to leave the field.
Banged up. I mean, he was like... he said after the game we came in that Monday, he was like, man, it was tough for me. I took a tough hit out. I'm not trying to go on IR, though. I'm trying to fight it out. I said, yeah, coach, you got hit pretty good. And I was like, yeah, I'll fight through it though. Some ice, some ice and stem, I'll be okay.
So in the aftermath of that game, now as the game ends and you guys are coming off the field, I mean, Rex had said a lot of things during the course of the week. Do you remember what the exchange was like after the game?
So after the game, they had Plexico over. They gave Plexico opportunity to come and play, like after he came home. And I'm talking to Plex, and he walks by me, and he says, I'm not sure if I can say exactly what he said, but he said, I don't care about this. We're still gonna get into the freaking playoffs, and we're gonna go to the Super Bowl, and we're gonna win the Super Bowl. I don't care about any of this. You guys got lucky here, that you guys are soft and all this other stuff. And I just looked at him and was like, dude, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You've already stirred up enough stuff, the whole week saying all kind of stupid stuff that shouldn't have come out of your mouth. Don't talk to me. So he came up to him. I don't know who you think you are. I'm not afraid of you. I said, again, you don't have to be afraid of me, but I'm one person on this team. I will punch you in your mouth like I would knock you out. So everybody else on this team, I'll let you slide, old man, but I will put you to sleep. So you better back up off of me.
You can only get this stuff on the Popper's Perspective podcast right from Brandon Jacobs' mouth. That had to be one of the coolest Christmases the next day, right? I mean, you're playing on the road, but it happens to be at home. You knock the Jets off in their building. Was that as sweet as it comes for Christmas morning?
That was sweet as it comes.
Like Santa brought some gift for you guys.
We didn't have to go all the way across country to play somebody and then have to come back in the middle of the night and sleep, most of the day through Christmas. We were right here at home. It was one of the best setups that the NFL could have gave us. And playing the Jets, we knew what that was all about. We knew it was going to be a scrappy, disrespectful football game just by the week, just by seeing them on the schedule. So it was sweet. That was one of the best Christmas that I've had throughout my time playing.
You only play them once every 4 years. You play them every year in the preseason, though. Is there or isn't there a rivalry between the players on the teams, do you think?
I don't think there's a rivalry between the players on the team. I mean, for us anyway, we didn't mind the Jets. They never was a real threat to us.
And the other thing is that really Rex created the controversy more than the players, right?
Mm-hmm. Rex was the driving force behind the so-called rivalry that he wanted to create. But it never grew because they never was a threat. They never challenged us. It never was a threat. It never was, this is our city. We knew that we just let you guys, we rent you space. You know, like we rent you space, and because we knew that there was never any threat, and they knew that.
So now you got Dallas in prime time the next week. Everything's on the line to win the division. We know how you feel about the Dallas Cowboys. And then you get to play the first ever home playoff game in MetLife Stadium. You beat Atlanta. You go on to win the Super Bowl. Just talk about the second year of MetLife Stadium, but being the team to win the first Super Bowl and have the first home playoff game and it being Giants.
Yeah, I mean, that was really big for us, too. The guys were running around the locker room talking about that. The first playoff win in MetLife, and our special. We did everything before the Jets can do it. So I don't think you guys ever have to worry about the Jets doing anything else ever again, because they were done from that point forward. But it was sweet, and having the chance to play Dallas the very next week and beating them too, to win the division. Going into the playoffs, it was just the whole setup from the Jets game all the way through the playoffs were really sweet for us. And doing some things in the stadium for the first time, it didn't get any better than that.
Brandon, always great catching up with you.
Sir, Bob,
awesome stuff. Good seeing you as always.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Man, number 27, Brandon Jacobs, joining us for this edition of the Papa's Perspective on part of the Giants Huddle podcast. It's brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture.